Hi, this is Rob Anspach, and welcome to another edition of eHeroes. Today's eHero is Heather Havenwood, the queen of podcasting.
What's up?
I brought Heather on today's show because last year we co-authored a book together called Power Guesting. So today we're going to talk about what's going on in Heather's world because there's some interesting and funny stuff.
Not really funny.
Well, we're working on that, right?
Right. I'm working on that. I'm not funny. I'm not really.
She's taking some
I'm
comedy
blonde.
classes.
I'm blonde. I live in Texas. I'm big boobed, but I'm not funny. And I'm sticking to it. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Let's do this thing. I'm a hero now? So I'm on your show and am I a hero? I'm curious what I'm a hero of, actually, Rob.
Yeah. I mean, you're
an e-hero.
An e-hero is entrepreneur hero. And you've been teaching entrepreneurs for years, not only storytelling, but podcasting. And, you have a lot of people that look up to you. And that's funny.
Oh, do you look up to me, Rob?
Yeah, just a
See,
little
that was funny.
See, all this.
We make a good team. You're like the dry, sarcastic one.
All this material that you can be using in your new comedy routine. It'll be
like that.
It'll be funny. So let's talk about what's going on in your world. That world that revolves around Texas.
Well, we just got rid of a bomber, so that was exciting. Honestly, right now I'm focusing a lot on helping small business owners and entrepreneurs how to sell, especially coaches. One of the things that I'm learning right now, Rob, and you know this, is that they have a really hard time selling themselves and promoting themselves. I mean, you and I first met in 2013 when I did an event in Vegas at successmagnetseminar.com with Joe Sugarman, who invited you, and he was my business partner at that event. And he invited you and I met there. And a number one skill set that they were all learning was copywriting. And as you know, that's the number one skill, but the underlying tone of copywriting is really what? Selling. So I don't know if copywriting is the best thing to say, hey, everyone needs to learn copywriting, or just say, hey, forget copywriting, just learn how to do sales. Either way, learning how to sell yourself, promote yourself, ask for the money yourself is one of the most challenging things entrepreneurs do. It's not the task at hand that they have a challenge doing, whatever their thing is. It could be doing Facebook ad servicing, or like yourself, you build people's books. It's not that task. The task is closing the deal, asking for the money, and getting people to pay you. I mean, that's really honestly the most challenging part. And that's what I focus on.
And I think also is selling what you're worth. I mean, getting people to pay you for what you're worth.
Yeah. That's a big one too. Here's my philosophy on it. And I don't think you and I have talked about this. So I'm going to share my philosophy on it. So one of the most challenging parts, I think, of entrepreneurship and when we're asking for our worth is because it's not that we don't feel we're worthy, because we do. The challenge is we are artists. So I love to have the analogy of like truly an artist. You were walking to an art gallery before. The artist itself is usually not selling the painting. It's some other person, a hot chick, whatever, going, isn't that painting amazing? Isn't the art of the colors amazing? Rob painted that. Rob is amazing. It's always easier to sell another person's work, no matter what it is, a painting on the wall, right? But when we're selling ourselves, like if the artist was there trying to sell you on his painting, the chance of him actually closing you are like nil to none. Because he'll something like, oh man, I was like in a depressed mood that day, and like it's okay, but like it's not my best work, but it's all right. You know what I mean? Because it's hard for us to be boisterous about our own work. And that's one of the challenging parts of being an entrepreneur, is we have to learn to step outside of ourselves and go, yes, that's my work, and it's not my work. How can I sell it and promote it and close the deal without any attachment to the yes or the no? Right? And that's what I work with clients on.
I think having a thick skin is also beneficial for most entrepreneurs.
A must. A must. I must. A lot of people ask me, oh, I should be an entrepreneur. I can't wait to get out of my 9-to-5 job. My response is stay in your cushy job. Right? Look, I'm 100% unemployable. I'm 1000%. I've tried it. I can't tell you how many times I've gone back to corporate America. My last time was here in Austin when I first moved here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to corporate America for a while. I need the money, whatever, right? I lasted 90 days. I'll never forget a friend of mine called me when I called him. I think I texted him like I got fired. He called me and goes, so proud of you that you lasted 90 days. I'm like, are you trying to be sarcastic? Are you trying to be mean? He's like, no, I just know you. You're unemployable. And like, I'm proud that you lasted 90 days. 90 days in a corporate job. And when I got fired, by the way, I just want to let you know. So it's not that I don't do the work, because I've never gotten fired because I'm not good. I've always succeeded quotas. I've always succeeded doing really well. People like me. My bosses liked me. But I don't do well when they say, you need to do this, this, this. It makes no sense to me. I will tell them that's ridiculous. And then I balk at them. And they're like, you can't do that. That's where you got to do what we say. You can't balk at us because we're your boss and that's what you do. And I would go, but that's stupid. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense. It's inefficient. And they're like, yeah, well, congratulations. Now you're fired. Right? So the unemployable piece in me is that piece where if it's inefficient, doesn't make sense, well, I don't want to do it. I like speak it out loud. And you can't do that in a corporate environment. The interesting part is that entrepreneurship, you really can't do that either. You can speak it all you want that you don't want to do it. And what I call 2-year-old, like, but then you still have to do it anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm 100%, 1000% unemployable. So I don't have a choice in the matter. I have to be an entrepreneur. So all you people out there who are like, I really want to be an entrepreneur, it sounds really cool. I'm like, stay in your job, right? Because there's a part of me that wishes that I could just have like a cushy job. That would be cool. At the same time, I'm 100% unemployable.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't work for someone else. I've been unemployed for 25 years as an entrepreneur, and
it's challenging.
I could never work for someone else.
Right, totally. It's very challenging to work for someone else after you've worked for yourself for so long, right?
So let's talk about extending that copywriting beyond paper. I mean, right now, social media is hot. Chatbots are hot. So how do we get our message that we had in print to the consumer that is looking for us on social media?
Well, there's a couple things. So okay, there's a couple basics, right? Well, books is just one avenue. Repurposing the book into blog posts is another avenue. Podcast is another avenue. How do we get people to say, hey, I like you, know, like, and trust you. I enjoy your writing. I enjoyed your book, whatever. And now I'm going to go find you online and do something with you. And then potentially even what I call marry you, which is work with you. It's a dating process, right? So a dating process is all about having coffee first and then getting to know them and maybe going to dinner a little bit longer. And then potentially maybe 2 or 3 dates and then maybe a kiss. I mean, it takes a time. You don't just ask someone to marry you within the first date, right? It's like super like, cray, you're cray. Same process. It's called the human interaction. There's actually some books about it, about how we as human beings, there's actually a stepping process that if at any point one of those processes is skipped, the human being in us all of a sudden goes, you're weird. You just crossed the boundary. You know what I mean?
That's my next book, The Creep Factor.
I so wish you were kidding, but I know you're not. So that's actually funny, which segues me into, I'm taking a course right now on stand-up comedy. And the reason is because I'm on podcasts a lot. I've been over 350 at this point, right? I have 6 books out. I have my own show, my own radio show, YouTube. None of that scares me because I'm a content creator. But the moment there's a big light on me with a microphone and then I have to make you laugh, like that's scares the crap out of me. So I'm doing this course. It's a comedy stand-up course. Why? Because it scares the crap out of me. That's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it so I can break that barrier and figure out a way to be funny.
Well, through your own evolution, though, and it's in our book, and we talked about this, is that you've done improv.
Yeah.
You've done stand up where you go out and speak to people. You've developed your own style. So
Mm.
comedy is just that evolution to get people to know, like, and trust you.
Oh, thanks. It is an evolution for me. It's a good point. I did do. I said in the book, in our book that we created together, Power Guesting, that I did almost a year and a half of improv before I started podcasting. Not. I would say that's the best thing you could ever do. I didn't know I was going to do podcasting. I actually did improv because my mom had just died, and my coach was like, "You need to go do something really weird. Like way out of your comfort zone with people, strangers, something you would never do." So I was like, "It was this thing called improv that's like down the street from my house." She's like, "Perfect, whatever the hell that is, right?" So a year later, I did a year of that. I loved it. It really got me out of my shell. And then they always say the next step of improv is stand up. So here I am doing stand up. However, the first thing, the first thing that the instructor said, such a great lesson in this, such a great entrepreneur lesson here. The first thing that the instructor said, she said, first day one, she goes, "Well, some of you are here today because someone probably told you you're funny. So therefore you're here to figure out how you can be consistently funny." And I raise my hand and I go, "No, no, 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 no. I am not here because Rob, my friend, said I was funny, or anyone. I'm here because I'm not funny at all. And I'm trying to figure out a way to become funny." And then everyone laughed in the audience and everyone in the class. And then she goes, "See, that's funny."
Mhm.
And I just went, I don't get that.
It's natural. It's timing.
It's timing.
It's your emotions coming out, and you inspired people to laugh.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I laugh all the time at you, but that's just me.
Thank you. Right, exactly. But it's a great lesson in entrepreneurship. I remember I skydived once out of a plane. I threw myself out of a plane the day after Christmas one year. After Christmas, I got my gifts first, and then I went skydiving, just in case I died. Why did I do that? 100% because it scared the I can't if I cuss on this thing. Scared the hell out of me. And I'll never forget being on the plane, in the plane, and if you've ever done skydiving, and you've never been trained in it, they put you with a person, right? Which is very smart because if they didn't, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have pulled the chute. So I'm in this plane, and the guy's bigger than me. Obviously, he's behind me. He's like straddling behind me. I'm straddling this bench. He's straddling behind me. So I have no control. He's bigger than me, so he's like grabbing from behind, like he's bear hugging me from behind. And all of a sudden, they said go, and they opened the door. And I'm thinking to myself, well, there's other people on the plane. Like we're gonna be last. Oh no, no, no. He starts like pushing me down the bench, and I start doing the female grabbing thing, you know what I mean? Like I was starting to like grab anything I possibly can. I'm hoping there's like a handle, and there's nothing. There's just nothing. And I'm trying to grab my nails are going down the thing. He takes my hands, he grabs me again, and we just go out. There was no like 1, 2. No, no, no. I I just remember boom. And next thing you know, I'm looking at the ground. And I remember literally a little voice in my head said, "You need to breathe." Like I totally stopped breathing. Like that. And I don't remember landing. I remember falling. I remember next thing you know, I'm on the ground. That's all I remember. But I got through it. And I think part of being an entrepreneur is you don't know how it's going to go. You have no clue where the hell you're going to land. You kind of have an idea. You're hoping you do. There's no straight path. There's no manual, really. You can prepare and train, but you really don't know how it's going to go. You're not even sure if the parachute's going to open, you know? And I think that's what the challenge with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they want to have this, like, here's how it's going to go. And as you know, that's a bunch of crap because it's not true. It's never going to happen that way.
No, and I think every entrepreneur out there has to do something scary. They have to do something out of their comfort zone, because once they tackle that, everything else is easy.
Right. And this is like you said, it's my evolution. It's the next thing for me. I've been on stages. I've traveled the country. I'm on radio. I place myself on camera all the time. But comedy, and I've told everyone, don't come. Like, I don't want anyone to come. I don't want my sisters. You're not coming. They will. They'll probably show up, but throw tomatoes at me. But it's just the next thing for me that I want to get out of the space of like what scares me. It really does scare the hell out of me too.
Just like our book, just like podcasts.
Yeah.
You get on stage, you tell a funny story, and that whole story about you jumping out of a plane, that is funny stuff.
Really? Okay, I'll write that one down. Hold on.
I mean, just when we're done, you can rewatch this and listen to your own interview. But that was funny.
Thanks.
And so I know that you have lots of stories, lots of funny stories, and you've gone through so much pain that it's helped temper you into being a better entrepreneur. Years ago when you went through the bankruptcy and then all the other stuff, that everything can generate some type of humor or story out of that.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I've been through hell and back, as they call it. And I'm still going through hell, and I'm coming back, hopefully. But I remember another thing that I did while I was in Orlando. I did the skydiving in Orlando, and I did another thing in Orlando. And it was kind of a weird thing. So I go on this date with this guy, one-time date, find out he was an ex-NFL player. Don't ask me his name. Very large and black. That's all I remember. So we went on one date, and he's like, "You're really nice. You're really sweet. Why don't I give you a gift?" It was near my birthday. So I was like, "Sure." He goes, show up at this time, like Friday, and I'll give you, the highest level thing of this thing. And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "Well, it's at the NASCAR. It means you can ride a NASCAR car around the little NASCAR track right near Orlando. It's owned by Orlando." Now, he tells me to show up at this NASCAR location, and I don't know what I'm thinking, to be honest. So I show up, no lie, in a strapless dress and heels at noon at a NASCAR. And I'm late. So imagine there's a guy at the front of the room. He's a trainer, and he's like, teaching everyone they're going to get the NASCAR car, and there's a whole training for an hour before that, safety, all this. And I'm late, and I walk in, I'm like, "Hey, I'm here." And they're like, "Are you Heather?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my God." Heels on this large and a strapless dress. And I'm like, "I'm friends of so-and-so." And they're like, "Oh my God." Cause I had the VIP. He gave me everything. It was like a $2,000 package. So I got to do the NASCAR with the person. I got to do the NASCAR car by myself. I got the picture, and I'm the only female doing it. Cause all the other females in the room are the wives of the husbands who want to do this like $2,000 package. Right. So I'm like, "This is great." And they look at me, they go, "Are you wearing heels? How are you going to do the thing, with heels?" I'm like, "I don't know. I guess I'm going to barefoot now." And here's the point of it. So the first one going around the NASCAR very fast with a professional driver. The guy's professional. Like, this is what he does. It was scary. I was like, but I felt safe because we're in Disney, first of all, and it's fine, and that's going to happen. But then they say, "Here are the keys." The car, and you paid, or kind of paid, not really, paid to go around the track by yourself in a professional NASCAR at 120 miles an hour. Like, what are you talking about? Are you sure you're the right person? They're like, "Yeah, your name's here," and like, he bought it for you or whatever. So I'm like, I get in there, and they got no one's in the car with me, and I'm having to like figure out how to do this thing, and I'm going around I get like 5 or 6 laps or something ridiculous. I don't think I hit more than like 85, because when you're driving up to this wall, you're like, "Oh my God," and it's like you're in there tight, you got the whole thing, you're like, "Oh." So I remember getting out of the car, and everyone was laughing at me. And I remember saying to myself, my lesson here as an entrepreneur is never take your foot off the pedal. Because the moment I took my foot off the pedal and put into brake is when the car went kind of crazy. But the more I put the gas on and just held it steady, the more it kind of performed, you know? And I thought, wow, that's a really interesting lesson in life. Now, I'll probably never go do that thing again. But it's the point of entrepreneurship is you got to put your, just focus and put the gas down. Like I've done 350 podcasts or more. I've lost count. And someone's like, why do you keep going? I'm like, well, why not? Because it creates momentum. It creates connection. It creates storytelling. It creates me consistently being out there. It creates momentum for me. Why would I stop? It's like asking any person to stop promoting themselves. They would never do that.
And every single podcast that you do is a different story, is a different way for you to present that story to a new audience.
It is. It is. And that's why you and I created podcast guesting.
And it's another chance for you to be funny.
I'm not funny. I'm not funny. You can ask all my ex-boyfriends. I remember one of them, he said to me, that was funny. You're not funny. But what you just said was funny. It's that what you said is funny, but you're not funny. You're definitely, you're not funny. And I kind of.
And that's why they're exes.
That's why they're exes. But at one point, the good entrepreneurship in me, I dated the guy. So in high school, Rob, you know me a long time. So not as far back as high school, but close. So back in high school, I was voted most flirtatious.
No way.
Shocker.
Mm-hmm.
And not funny, flirtation. Very different than funny. So I wanted to be funny, but I'm not funny. So I actually asked him out. No kidding. The guy who was voted the funniest guy in school, I asked him out for prom. No lie. Because I thought, well, I can be funny vicariously through him. And that whole night was super fun because everyone's around us because he's funny. Everyone loved David because he's so funny. Oh my God, And then that night, I didn't become funny, just had sex with a guy who was funny. I still wasn't funny the next day. I was hoping that would work. But yeah, I've been trying a long time to be funny. I'm not though, but I'm a great content provider and I'm a great entrepreneur. And all my clients leave, they come to me with huge challenges, and they always, when they do leave, if they do, because I have still clients over with me, they're constantly increasing their business. They're constantly increasing their revenue. I've really never had, I'm just thinking, I've never had a client that failed when they were working with me.
So let's talk about that because, all these podcasts that you've done, all the talks you've ever done, the books, everything. People come to you because they can see the value in what you deliver. They know that beyond the not being funny, you have a serious side of helping them build their business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very. I mean, every business I've ever touched has gone big. You can't see it right now if you're seeing our video, but I have these two huge prints on my wall right now. And one of them says, dream big, don't let anyone dull your sparkle. And my first million online was 01. I'm sorry, 05. Sorry, 05. My first, my second million online was 2015 with 0 to 1.5 million sales and weight loss. When I was 25, I was number one in sales out of 10,000 reps in SBC Global. And I was the only female in my office. And I was 20 years younger than the average coworker. So I'm a driver, and I help businesses and entrepreneurs figure out how to drive their business up the mountain, right? People have ideas. They're like, I have this idea, Heather. And I'm like, great, let's drive it. Let's create the revenue. Let's get it going. Let's sell the hell out of it. What happens is a lot of times people go, well, it's not ready. I'm like, launch. You just launch it. And when you launch it, the marketplace will tell you what they want. but they can't tell you what they want until you launch something, right? So you launch something and then we're like, it's great, but I want this. Okay, great. We can add that, or we're not going to add that. I think it's in the moment of the launch is so specific. I was watching an interview yesterday of the CEO of Lyft and founder and CEO of Lyft, one of the guys. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. And they're just now in 2018 going into Toronto. They're going international. And the interviewer, Bloomberg, was asking, well, don't you feel like you're behind because Uber's already international? He's like, we're okay with that. We want to take our time so that we can really build an amazing company that our drivers are happy and our customers are happy. And I thought, wow, right? He's focused. He knows what he wants. And he knows he's getting bigger and bigger every day. And right now, Uber's still the gorilla, but he's taking market share every single day because at the end of the day, at the end of the conversation, what customers want to feel respected, they want to feel that they're getting a good product and service, and the drivers, who are really the backbone of their company, are moving from Uber to Lyft because they feel they're being taken care of and they're making more money.
Uber's getting hit every single day with negative news and negative publicity, and you don't hear much about Lyft. But what's happening is all the negativity driving towards Uber is actually giving a positive impact on Lyft.
He said that the week that the big scandal that like blew up, for Uber, the first scandal, he said that their business increased 20% in 1 week. That's 1 week. I just love the fact he's so grounded. And he's like, hey, you know what? This is about customers and customer centric. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not looking to sell my company right now. And I just absolutely love that. And he really is a true entrepreneur, because a true entrepreneur really cares. They have a level of heart that they actually care about their company on some level, either the customers or the clients or the employees. Like, they actually have heart in it. That's why lots of times there's a huge statistic that the second generation, let's say they have a person who builds a business and they have kids and they want to pass on to the kids, there's like a failure rate of that is ridiculous. I think it's like 98% of the second generation of the entrepreneur fails the company. It's not because their individuals aren't smart or anything like that. It has nothing to do with it. It's about heart, and it's about understanding what it takes to be an entrepreneur. They don't have it. They usually don't have it. It's very rare that both generations, unless it's really corporate, can actually really come in and step into those shoes that their father or mother, whoever, built the company. It's different than being an heir like Paris Hilton. I'm talking like really step into the entrepreneurship and be the leader, because there's a heart to it that's kind of missing, that the entrepreneur had to really go through heartache and suffering and struggle or whatever to be able to create that entity, and handing it over to their kid sometimes. But they said the statistics like 98% with a failure rate.
That's to me, that's unacceptable, because you create this product, this legacy. You want it to live beyond you.
Yeah.
And when someone doesn't have that vision, that drive, that passion that you have, then your legacy dies.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the moral of that story is that entrepreneurs, I feel, are born, meaning entrepreneurship finds the entrepreneur. People don't find entrepreneurship. What I mean by that, another way to say that, is almost all the successful entrepreneurs I've met, they have some similar weird story, like they've tried to be corporate America, or they tried to build a business, or they tried this or tried that. Almost all of them that I know of, I can't think of one actually that's not, but I'm just saying almost, because who knows. You asked them what they were doing when they were 15 or 16, they had a business at some level. Like for me, I did papers. Remember, you go around and throw papers. My first job, as soon as I could, 16, I worked in a restaurant. I wanted to. I was like, dude, get me in there, I've always worked. I didn't like it when I wasn't working. I didn't like it when I wasn't building something. That's a common theme for true entrepreneurs.
I mean, when I was 14, I went out and mowed lawns all through the neighborhood, and I was making decent money. And then my dad said, enough's enough. You're breaking my mowers. You're doing this. You're doing that. And I mean, I would pay for them. But then I went and got a a real job being a bag boy at a grocery store making $3.35 an hour. I mean, that was horrible.
I think honestly, my first entrepreneurial job, I remember my mom paid that's like $1.25 or whatever it was to clean the house. And my grandmother, I've left this. This is still a habit today. She would pay us if she saw us turn off the light when we left the room. That was her thing. When you leave the room, turn off the light. So if she saw that we did that, she would give us 10 cents. So I'm like, where's the room? Like click, 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 right? So I was very good at that. And actually it's now a habit to this day. People, you watch me around my house, I turn off the lights when I leave the room.
Do you still get a dime?
No. Well, the electricity company doesn't charge me as much, right? But it's, I think that's kind of an entrepreneurial spirit even there,
So how can people get a hold of you?
They can go to my bot, askheatherann.com. That's my chat bot, which opens up into my Facebook Messenger, which is my Facebook fan page, Heather Havenwood, facebook.com/Heather Havenwood. If that's too complicated for you, that's cool. You can go to heatherhavenwood.com. In the upper right-hand corner, it says, talk to Heather, coach with Heather. You can have a conversation with me, get on my calendar. We can see if I'm a good fit for you for your business. Just know I'm not funny. I'm very serious when it comes to business, and I will definitely put you on the right path for success.
And she is funny.
I'm not funny. I'm trying.
So if they want you to be on their podcast and funny, how can they do that?
They can email media@sexybossinc.com. So it's media@sexybossinc.com. Actually, that's not true. You can also go to the callwithheather.com. Go to callwithheather.com, and on that you actually have a section you can say, hey, I want to interview Heather, and you can actually book me right away, right out of that. So callwithheather.com.
And on the comment, put, you were funny on Rob's eHero
right. Show. You were so funny. And I will know where it's coming from because this is the only time I've been talking about it. I'm doing Facebook Lives about it. I promise I would do that once a week. When I come home from class, I'm like doing these Facebook Lives about my experience. I really want to document it and my experience with that. But yeah, I'm not funny. No one else talks about it.
She's funny.
I'm not. Callwithheather.com. But honestly, you and I created that book. It's not even been a year. Do you know that? So we created that in July 2017. It's not even been a year.
Almost. Feels like a year.
Right. And when we wrote that with the book, I think the number we put in there was like 150 shows, maybe 200.
200, yeah.
I'm at 350 now. It's not even been a year. Now there's no grandiose in the number. I'm not going for some like toaster. But the point is that never stop promoting yourself.
Send her a toaster.
Ever. Or send me a toaster.
Yeah, send her a toaster.
Actually, you know what I really need? I need a new coffee maker. So Amazon it.
And it has to be pink.
Oh, that would be cool. I don't think Mr. Coffee does that. Yeah, no toaster. I don't like toast. But coffee maker, I'm all over that. Or wine. Okay, the point is that never stop promoting yourself. Never, ever, 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 ever stop promoting yourself. Ever. Always be promoting. Always be promoting. Always be promoting. Take a lesson from our current president of the United States, like him or not. He is a promoter. And he is constantly keeping his agenda, whatever it is, in the news. That is an art. That's a skill to be able to drive PR from the Oval Office on a Twitter account every single day.
Yep.
Pretty impressive.
Yep. And, so this is why Heather is an e-hero, because she's not afraid to take risks. She's not afraid not to be funny, because she is funny. And she's not afraid to reach out and help people when they need help with their business. So what I want you to do is go to her Facebook, talk to her chat box, go to her website, annoy her, send her a new coffee maker, and then we can talk. So have fun, talk to the funny one, and I'll see you on the next show. This is Rob Anspach with Heather Havenwood. Adios.